Hello everybody, welcome back. My name's Mamiya, and today we're going to be checking out some more of the awesome auto battler Godslayer Arena. So, in last episode, in case you missed it, we played as the Cosmic Huntress, and we built around the occult, and we had all of our occult abilities transform into a copy of Fractured Mirage, which summons a fractured clone of yourself. So we had, I think it was like five or six clones of ourselves, and we tried to build into basic attack speed and attack damage, because the clones that you summon share your stats. And I gotta say, it was pretty damn wild. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, there will be a link to the playlist down in the description, so feel free to check that out. But today, we're gonna go back to the Raging Bloodlord, and let's see. Let's just try on Frenzy level 3. Or Gate 3 even, and jump right into it. I don't really know what we're going to build around today. We'll make that choice when we see what's in the shop. I want to be different to what we've already done. So, what do we got? We got Fireball. Launch 2 fireballs aimed at random enemies. Fireballs explode in an area, dealing 40 damage, and you can spend a blitz charge to make fireballs leave behind a fire field that deals 20 damage over 3 seconds. And it's part of the Infernum, Harbinger, and Phantom traits. So Infernum makes your left and rightmost Infernum spells gain refill and bonus spell power. And Harbinger, whenever you cast a Harbinger spell, auto-cast it with modified spell power after short delay. And then we got Phantom, gain bonus evasion score and grant Phantom spells more spell power. We've also got Lightning Blast. However, I don't think we'll be taking this because we've already done an Electros build. Ignition Axe. This is a Infernum and a Deathblade. We've already seen Infernum, but Deathblades gain bonus attack damage. Deathblade spells gain a martial bonus, damaged based on attack damage. Okay. Then we have Nocturne. Oh, hang on, sorry. I totally forgot actually reading the card to explain the card. We got passive. Every 3 basic attacks causes your target to explode, dealing 20 damage in an area. And the active is for 4 seconds, gain 20% attack speed and grant all area spells 10% increased area. I do kind of like this, but we did literally just do a basic attack build, so I'm less inclined to take that one. Nocturne is the next one. That has Shadowborn and Deathblade again. Shadowborn here summons a Shadow minion which levels up as the game progresses. And Nocturne is passive. Basic attacks have 25% chance of launching 2 Shadow Axes that deal 7 damage. Gain 3 evasion score whenever this triggers. And then on active, gain bonus spell power equal to 35% of this spell's mana cost. All other projectile spells gain this effect for 3 seconds, so it's a projectile build. Interesting. I do kind of like the sound of that. Or we have Defile, part of the Necroweave and Harbinger set. Necroweave summons undead minions that fight for you. And we've seen Harbinger before. So the active is spawn a desecrated corpse near 2 enemies, dealing 50 area damage over 3 seconds, and we spend 1. Desecrated corpses gain 50% increased bonus area. Right, we're back. Sorry about that. Cut in the video there. Just had to sort something out. I'm thinking maybe we go for a Necroweave build. Do a summons build. Undead minions, sure. Let's try that. So we're going to spawn a desecrated corpse near 2 enemies that deals area damage over 3 seconds, and we can spend a vitality charge for desecrated corpses gain 50% increased base area. That sounds great to me. Let's become a Lord of the Undead. Reasonable AoE size. They seem to be doing work this... Yeah, 8 damage a second sort of thing, it looked like. Okay. Our best bet here is just to take anything, really. This fireball does have Harbinger. So we could go into some Harbinger. But do we want to look at what synergizes with this? Getting a vitality charge. Do we have any bulwark spells? No, we don't. Anything that increases AoE size? I don't think any of these do. So let's take Fireball. We'll reroll. Ooh, okay. So we've got a Necro Weave ability. Let's have a look at it. Harvest. Consume the 3 nearest corpses to regenerate 15 health per corpse consumed, and it has Refill 1. Refill is your mana orb fills this spell multiple times before proceeding to the next spell. Yeah, we got to take that and stick it in. We got Enigma 1 now, which gives us 25 extra effectiveness on our energy charges, but we're not spending energy charges at the moment, so that is irrelevant. We're regenerating a reasonable amount of health. 300 health. You can see the corpses being consumed. There's a little animation for it. Awesome. Oh, okay, we've got nothing that sort of goes with what we've got going on here. No bulwark. Minotaur form. Shapeshift into a Minotaur. While shifted, buff spells to the right gain 60 spell power and 40% increased mana generation, but no longer deal damage. That is a defensive, not a buff spell. And this is an attack spell, not a buff spell. Okay, what about Dark Gambit? It is part of the Twilight and Eclipse set, and Twilight spells grant other spells spell power upon casting. Eclipse is at combat start. Your 3 rightmost spells gain various bonuses. And Dark Gambit itself, launch a deck of cards at 2 enemies, dealing 40 damage in an area. If you are low on life, regenerate 15 health. And we can spend a Blitz charge for this effect. For 3 seconds, gain Martial 8 and auto-cast this spell at 20% spell power whenever you basic attack. I don't think it really fits the build, if I'm honest. And Shockstone is part of the Electros set, so we've already done an Electros build. If you want to go see that, it is the first video in this series. We got Cutthroat Strike, part of the Syntech, Reaver and Spirit set. Syntechs give you increased damage for each unique active trait, so if we picked this up we would get a lot, but we'd need 2 in Syntech first. Reaver gives us increased area. Reaver spells have a chance of casting with additional spell power and area, so this is all about AoE. And Spirit gives you bonus health regeneration per equipped Spirit spell. Regenerating health grants attack spells spell power. And the spell itself, Cutthroat Strike, deals... it strikes in a small area, dealing 60 damage to nearby enemies. And you can spend 2 Bulwark to gain... oh, what are these called? Energy charges, Blitz charge, and... what was the other one? We've got one that... Enigma, here we go. Energy charges. So this converts your Bulwark into other charges. Do you know what? Let's pick it up for now. and reroll, see what we can get. Well, we got the level 2 Necro Weave. That'll boost us up to having 3 in the Necro Weave trait. I think we got to take this, but Haunting Dash. Passive, whenever an enemy haunted by this spell dies, grant the 2 closest spells 2 spell power for 4 seconds. And on active, dash through your current target, haunting enemies along the way for 4 seconds. Summon a Wraith, and a Wraith lasts for 6 seconds, deals 35 damage, and attacks every 1.5 seconds. We take that, and we obviously put it in between our 2 other Necroweave spells, because it grants the 2 closest spells 2 spell power. Spell power for Harvest, I believe, just increases the amount of health you regenerate. And then spell power for Defile increases its damage. And now, because we have 3 in Necroweave, we summon 3 undead warriors. We cast a bone ritual every 12 seconds, summoning undead minions to fight for us. Each corpse you consume has a 25% chance to reduce the time to the next bone ritual by a second. Whenever you cast a bone ritual, gain 120 shield. Sweet. So we're getting 3 undead warriors. That's going to reduce... We got 25% chance of them reducing the time between the next bone ritual. So far, so good. Our shield's holding out. And we're getting through these enemies. We are quite early on. But there we go. Little friend. When combat ends, gain 1 random tier 1 spell. If your spell reserve is full, instead gain 25 resonance. And your tier 1 spells gain Martial 8. We do have tier 1. Martial increases spell damage by X% for every 10 attack damage you have, where X is the spell's martial value. We're not really doing a martial build, we're doing more spell power. Chains of Ascension. At the start of each planning phase, permanently grant all equipped attack spells 4 spell power. Well, we've got 2 attack spells. Spell power makes the Haunting Dash's dash last longer. And Defile gives it more damage. I'm tempted to get this. Or we've got the Oblivion Belt. Gain 75 health and 25 evasion score for each tier 2 spell you have equipped. Gain an additional shop refresh at the start of each fight. The first shop refresh each fight offers only tier 2 spells. Now, how many of the Necroweave spells are tier 2? 2 of them are. It would mean that we could very easily get these up to gold. And that gives us a vitality charge. Wait. Oh no, it doesn't. It spends vitality charges. Do we want to do that? Let me just check that again. So, we'd have 2 tier 2 spells, which would give us 50 evasion score and 150 health. Nah, I think I want to go with spell power scaling. I think that's going to work out best for us. I think we go for the shop refreshes here. We need to find something... Well, we can stick that in there now. But, yeah. None of these are really interesting. Ooh, we got Necroweave here. We got another Defile. We just need 1 more. Ooh, tier 3 Necroweave. We're getting these pretty early here. We got Necrobite. It's part of the Necroweave and Deathblade set. Traits, even. Deathblade gains bonus attack damage, and Deathblade spells gain martial bonus. Necrobite bites in a small area towards your current target, dealing 60 damage. Corpses bitten by this spell are consumed, granting you 20 shield, and it has a refill too. Yeah, that sounds great. think, yeah, we want to take this out. Get rid of Cutthroat Strike now. Get rid of both of them. And we want the 2 closest spells of Haunted Dash to be our damaging spells, so they're affected by spell power even more. And let's re-roll. And we got pretty much nothing. Umbral Advance does trigger off consuming corpses. It consumes all corpses in an area. It is not part of the Necroweave set, but it does sound pretty synergistic. It is part of the Shadowborn, Enigma, and Harbinger set, all which we've seen before, but yeah, passive is gain one of those. Why do I keep forgetting what the energy is? It is an energy charge. Yeah, you gain energy charge effectiveness whenever you consume a corpse, and the active dash towards a random enemy and deal 35 damage, consuming all corpses in an area. I do kind of want that. Yeah, we might think about putting that in our build. We're almost at 5 Necroweave, which is going to get us a bigger army, 2 additional undead mages every time we do a bone ritual. We've got a nice amount of shielding. I think we're popping with the bone ritual. It seems to be triggering quite a fair amount. Let's go for XP. Get some early XP in. And then, well, we got another Umbral Advance, so I think we take that. Ooh. What's in here really fits what we're going with here. Bearing in mind, when we level up, we will only have room for 1 more spell, and at the moment, that is Umbral Advance, so I don't think there's any benefit for us picking up any of these spells because they don't really fit the build. So let's carry on. See if we can get through stage 5 with no upgraded spells yet. Normally by this point I'd have a silver rank 1 spell, but I don't think I'd have every single spell being part of the same trait. Anger Dance, gain 50 evasion score and gain 4 rage whenever you evade an attack. While berserking, grant this and the 2 closest spells 20 spell power. Do we have any ways of getting our evade up? Does this increase our evade? I mean, Phantom gives us bonus evasion score, so if we get another Phantom spell, can we have a look on the Necroweave and just have a look to see if any of the other ones are Phantoms? No. Only the Haunting Dash is Phantom, so we'd have to pick up something else to get the Phantom. And I mean, 50 evasion score is pretty nice. Necrophage on cast or autocast, consume the nearest 5 corpses. Whenever you consume a corpse, gain 1 health regen for 12 seconds. Well, this just feels perfect for our build. We got Havoc, Martial 3, gain bonus attack damage equal to 40% of the spell's mana cost, or Dominus. On cast, summon an attack spectre, and an attack spectre lasts 6 seconds and grants you 5 attack damage while active. I think we've got to go for the Necrophage here. And 40% reduced hex deflection score feels fine. 40% reduced shield effectiveness. Little bit rough. 40% increased damage while shielded. Doubly rough. And martial spells cost 10 more mana. That doesn't apply to us, I don't think. Okay, I think I'm fine taking those. It does make us a little bit weaker. But we have the health regen from Necrophage, so it should balance out the loss in shielding that we're getting. And let's gain 20 XP. We get a Necrobite. Okay, now let's see. Umbral Advance. Does it matter where we put this? I don't think it does. I think we can just shove it right at the end. We got 2 Enigma now, which gives us 50 increased effectiveness on our energy charges. Okay. Not sure that's relevant right now. We don't have any way to spend the energy charges. What do they actually do? Whenever you generate an energy charge, autocast a random attack spell with modified spell power. Certain spells can spend the energy charges to gain bonus effects. Right, so this passive lets us autocast another spell. Okay, that's actually really nice. We do have Phantom here for the evading. I don't think we want Doom Quiver, because Doom Quiver's all about projectiles. We kind of want a hard roll to try and get Necro Weave, I think. Eclipse. What does Rage Stone do for Eclipse? I do like Eclipse. Eclipse gives your 3 rightmost spells various bonuses. More mana regen at 2. This would give us 1. They have, on combat start, if this spell is mana blocked, transform into Blood Moon. And Blood Moon says passive, the 2 closest non-mana block spells gain refill 2. That is pretty good. On active, consume up to 3 corpses to summon a Rage Pylon for each corpse consumed. That is a lot of corpses we're going to be consuming. So that actually could work. Oh, sorry, I'm back. I had to let my dog out. Seems to happen every bloody video. Phantom here. If this spell is mana blocked... oh, sorry. This spell is mana blocked, but gains 4 mana whenever you evade an attack. An active autocast the closest attack spell at 25% spell power. Yeah. For every 10 attacks you evade, summon a Power Spectre for 6 seconds. Grants you 5% increased damage. Honestly, I don't know if I like the Phantom. Let's re-roll that. Now the Soul Walker. Gain more rage. Soul Walker spells gain bonus spell power for every 40 rage you gain. Do we have any Soul Walker here? No. What about Shadowborn then? Let's keep looking at this Earth Shatter here. The passive is gain bonus spell power equal to 10% of your combined evasion and hex deflection score. And on active, shatter the ground beneath you, dealing 60 damage to enemies towards your current target, and elites take 150 damage instead. Pretty decent. And the mastery effect is gain 10 attack damage, 100% evasion score, and 100% deflection score while berserking. That is quite tasty. But we've got Shadowborn here. Shadowborn, at 2 of the traits, we summon a creeper that gains 100% experience, and on spawn gain 200 plus 50 per level shield. And it is a minion that levels up after accumulating experience. Okay. Penumbral Veil. Passive. This spell is mana blocked but auto-casts every 6 seconds. On active, gain a shield equal to 40% of your equipped spell's mana cost. That is a huge shield. The mastery effect is spells that cost at least 40 mana gain 45 spell power. We have exactly 1 spell that's above 40 mana. I don't think we're going for Shadowborn here. Arcana. We have nothing in Arcana. It gives stuff spell power. Arcana spells grant adjacent spells bonus spell power. And if you put them on the edge of the spell board, they give themselves the bonus spell power. We got Dragon's Breath. Its passive basic attacks have 7% chance of auto-casting this spell. Adjacent silver level spells increase this by 4% and gold level by 10%. The active is deal 30 damage towards your current target. And the mastery effect is spells placed on the edge of the board generate 1 blitz charge, which gives you bonus attack speed. Okay. Yeah, I'm not fussed about that. We have Harbinger, which we are semi going into. Let's see what it does. Passive: upon casting the closest spell to the left, auto-cast the closest attack spell to the right at 25% spell power. On active, launch 3 projectiles dealing 35 damage. Fire 1 more for every 4 hexes you've deflected. And then the mastery effect is whenever you auto-cast a spell, summon a deflection spectre that grants you 20 hex deflection score. We are auto-casting spells quite a bit. Well, mainly the Necrobite. But we also auto-cast the Harvest. That's what Refill does, I think. Let me just double check. No, Refill does not auto-cast. We're not auto-casting at all. Harbinger auto-cast with modified spell power. So this auto-casts and Umbral Advance auto-casts. And what's our other Harbinger spell? Defile. That also auto-casts. Okay, so interesting. Whenever you auto-cast a spell, so we'd have 3 spells that are auto-casting. So we'd get 3 deflection spectres. So we get 60 hex. Okay, I think this might be worth taking. Let's move over from Eclipse. We got Twilight. We don't have anything in Twilight yet. Whenever a Twilight spell is cast, enchant the closest non-Twilight spell to the right. Spells gain spell power every time they're enchanted. If there are no non-Twilight spells to the right, enchant the farthest Twilight spell on the right instead. And then at rank 2, they get 5 spell power per enchant. So that's the thing that we're looking at here. Essence Drain, passive. Grant this spell's mana equal to 20% of the rage generated. And then the active is drain nearby enemies, causing them to take 10% increased damage for 3 seconds. For each enemy drained, gain 10 evasion score. If at least 10 enemies were drained, also gain 70 shield. And then mastery effect, you can no longer enter Berserk. When you reach maximum rage, grant your rightmost attack spell 120 mana. Honestly, I don't think I like that. Oh, and we got Electros. Okay, so we've got no more rerolls. We've got to choose between Soulwalker and Harbinger. And I think Harbinger fits our build a little bit better. So I'm going to take that. Let's see. Upon casting the closest spell to the left, auto-cast the closest attack spell to the right. Let's see. On cast or auto-cast, consume the nearest 5 corpses. This refills twice, which will do harvest. Harvest just gives us a regen. Do we care about that? Maybe we put this elsewhere. Whenever an enemy is spawned, grant the 2 closest spells 2 spell power. Yeah, I think this is the setup for now. Because we want the spell power on these two, but we kind of need another slot, to be honest. We do have... How many projectile spells? We got 1 projectile spell, so giving it 10 spell power ain't really that good. 8 health regen, not that fussed about. 200 health and 20 evasion score. I think we can probably skip this to try and get a better resonance later. And because we're so far away from leveling, let's get additional shop refreshes. And nice, we get a harvest for Necroweave. None of these really fit the build. Yeah, we keep rolling on. Ooh, Locust Swarm. We got rank 4 Necroweave spell. Okay, that's interesting. So, Locust Swarm. Open 3 portals that each launch 25 locusts over 2 seconds. Locusts deal 6 damage to the first 2 enemies hit. Afterwards, launch 2 greater locusts that pierce through all enemies, each dealing 18 damage. Bonus projectiles launch 2 more greater locusts. Okay. What? Do we get rid of the health regen? I think we get rid of the health regen for that. Yeah. Now we want to level. Because we've got an extra slot we need, and none of these fit the build. So we carry on. Okay. The reduction in health regen is a little bit noticeable. But damage-wise, we're doing great. Look at all that. Oh, so many locusts coming out. That's kind of nuts. Yeah, let's just chug some XP. And we got to get our Umbral Advance up to silver. Wonderful. Ooh. Oh, I thought this would make a Haunting Dash silver, but it doesn't look like it's going to. Either way, we are picking it up. Into stage 8. Yeah, we got nice... We can... Oh, we need corpses. That's what it is. Uh-oh. Are we going to die here? Yeah. First life lost. We got plenty to go, though. We need a way of generating corpses, I think. We survived. Hexbreaker. Deal 25% increased damage to Hex casters. And whenever a Hex caster dies, grants the 2 closest spells 4 spell power and 15 mana. Okay. Martial spells gain refill 1 and 35% increased area of effect. Do we have any martial spells? I think it's literally, it's gotta say martial on it. And I don't think we have any martial spells, so Judgment Flail's pretty useless. It does give something martial 6 with this gem. Oh, it gives 2 things martial. Refill 1 and increased area of effect. Okay, maybe. Martial spells fire 1 additional projectile. And Sharpshooter, Martial 5 for every 3 projectiles fired by this spell gain 2 attack damage. This would be incredibly good for our Locust Swarm. But is it better than Hexbreaker? And how much would Refill 1 affect stuff? Yeah, I think we take the Sharpshooter's bow here. And we stick it on the Locust Swarm to get extra projectiles for more greater locusts. And we get more XP. Silver Haunting Dash. I think we just take the Umbral Advance here. It'll be a while before we can get that gold, but the earlier we can start accumulating them, the better. Yeah, none of these. Bonus refreshes gained from losing life. I didn't realize that was a thing. Yeah, shame the refreshes didn't really give us much. Let's go into Zone 9 even. How much does our extra projectiles affect? I think it's, yeah, it's doing work, but we're gonna die again. Ooh. Maybe we need our health regen. We got a lot of damage. Let's go up to level 6 and get that health regen. Oh, that's corpse throw. Shit. So we got 5 Necroweave right now. That makes us summon 2 additional undead mages. The question is, do we go for the corpse throw? It is another Necroweave. It spends vitality charges, throws 6 corpses in all directions, dealing 25 damage. Spend a vitality charge to throw twice as many corpses that deal 35% less damage. I think we get rid of Umbral Advance now. We'll still keep it in our lineup. It means that Harbinger is no longer active, unfortunately. But I think that's fine. And we don't really want any of these. There's more locust swarms. Lovely. Yeah, none of them either. And harvest bumping up to a silver. So we regenerate 22 health per corpse consumed. That should give us a nice amount of healing. 6 Necroweave now. We should be summoning a ton of guys. And we are regenning quite a lot of health, in all honesty. Our health is staying really healthy. Our health is staying healthy. You know what I mean. Okay, so that health regen really seems to have made the difference between life and death for us there. That, or we're just dealing so much more damage. I'm not entirely sure. Right, we got Sovereign, 50 spell power, 20 mana cost, and mana block adjacent spells. Mana block is... the spell is skipped by the mana orb's filling sequence. Don't really want to do that. Resolve, the first time you fall below 50% health, gain 1000 shield and grant this spell 100 mana over 5 seconds. Could be good. Necrosis, mana block this and the closest spell, 40% reduced health regeneration effectiveness. This is really good for a different build, but we're not really doing mana block stuff. Conduit, spells to the left generate a power stack on cast, spells to the right gain 3 spell power per power stack, lose all spell power stacks on mana orb reset. That doesn't actually equate to that much spell power. I think I'm going to go for Resolve here. Your charges lose 15% effectiveness per equipped martial spell. I don't think we have a... Hang on, we do. No, we don't. Wait. Didn't we give... Yeah, the Locust Swarm has martial. It's got martial 5 now. But I don't think the charges really affect it, so... Overlords periodically heal non-elite units in their aura for 20% of their maximum health. I wish it told you how quick that was. Defensive curse, while you're not on low life, take 15 damage when you generate a charge. And martial spells have 20% reduced spell power. I think that's fine. We can get through those curses. And we'll stick you on there. Let's get shop refreshes. It's time. No thank you. We have a Necrobite. Now we have a Silver Necrobite. There's a Haunting Dash. Let's pick that up. We got nothing really that interesting there. And same again. Okay. Well, we got one thing up to silver. Let's see if that makes a huge difference. So our swarms are doing less damage now because they're martial. We're consuming a lot of corpses. Our defense seems a lot better. It's these elites that are the trouble. The curse that gave smaller minions healing didn't seem to be relevant at all there. Ooh, Blood Bolt becoming Frostcraft and Phantom. That would push us up to 2 Phantom, so we get 100 evasion score and 4 spell power every time we evade 20 attacks. We get Blood Bolt. The spell's passive ability now autocasts the 2 closest attack spells to the right. Okay, that's quite juicy. Or gain Martial 15. What attack spells do we have? So it'd be Locust Swarm and Corpse Throw. Yeah, I quite like that. Let's take it. And we go in for more shop refreshes again. Nothing in this shop. Or that. We got a Defile. Finally getting that up to silver rank. Ooh, and a Corpse Throw there. Just need one more of them to get to silver. Can we get it? Doesn't look like it. No Necroweave in the shop, so I sleep. Let's go. I think we're probably going to start going for XP to try and get to level 7. I would quite like the Harbinger back. Ooh, enemies are starting to deal damage to us. We do have the Resolve gem, so we should be totally fine when we drop below half health, if we do. We were spawning an insane amount of locusts there. I'm gonna take shop refreshes again, actually. Ooh. That's a silver locust swarm. Beautiful. Nothing there for us. Or there. We got a Haunting Dash. Okay. We're moving places. Alright. I think with almost all our spells silver now, we dip into XP and get an extra spell slot. It totally depends on how strong we're feeling here. Are we surviving all right? And at the moment, we are getting hit, but we're healing through it, so I feel like we can afford to do a little bit of XP farming. Yeah. Iron Skin. Gain 120 health for each area spell you have equipped, and area spells gain 2% area for each charge you have. We got 1, 2 area spells. Not sure that's worth it. Sunforge Cuirass. Mana block your rightmost attack spell and increase its mana cost by 300%. Gain Hex deflection score equal to 50% of its mana cost. Whenever you deflect a Hex, all mana block spells generate mana equal to 15% of their mana cost. This is an insane item, but not for this build. Swift Leech, your leftmost and rightmost spells have 50% chance to generate a Blitz charge on cast. After generating 30 charges, your basic attacks regen 10 health. Yeah, none of them really help us, so let's reroll. Pain and Gain, your left and rightmost attack spells gain Martial 6. I think that would actually make them weaker because we've got the Curse over here. Your martial spells have 20% reduced spell power. So this is giving 6% spell damage for minus 20% spell power. Okay. Regenerate 20 health whenever you cast a martial spell. Nah. Gladiator's Fury. 30% increased attack speed. Gain 5 attack damage for every unique trait you have. That's 3 at the moment. Spellweaver's Theorem. 5 attack damage. Martial spells have 50% chance of gaining 35% of their maximum mana after casting. Damn, most of these suck, to be honest. We have 1 martial spell. Yeah, 1 martial spell. Let's just get 30% increased attack speed. Okay, projectile spells gain 25 spell power. We have 1, 2, 3 projectile spells. Or we could imbue a gem with additional effects. But no, I think 25 spell power is just... it's great. It's going to hopefully massively increase the damage of our Locust Swarm. Let's do it. And we're rushing for XP. We got a Corpse Throw. That bumps it up to silver. That is everything silver rank now. And that is a great position to be in, I will say. Especially at stage 14. You don't often get a full silver setup. Oh yeah, I think that spell power has really... it's just helped smooth out our damage. Where the big enemies before felt a little bit chunky. Now, they still feel a little bit chunky, but just a little bit less chunky, and we're surviving easily. Yeah, we just farm XP here. Obviously go for the Haunting Dash. We're going to try and get that to gold. We're going to try and get as many things we can to gold. Yeah, not interested in any of them. Let's keep going. We got 10 stages left. Going full necro. I wouldn't mind seeing game if you'd like to throw me a line out here. Possibly the rank 5 Necroweave spell. I wouldn't say no to that. Damn, there's so many mozzies. A mosquito swarm? No, locusts. My apologies. Locusts. We still... how come we got so much armor then? Did we get... no, our health was full. Oh, we're just getting massive amount of armor. Okay, interesting. Zolve, the first time you'd fall below... we've already got this one, so I'm not going to pick it up again. Front loader, refill 6, reduced by 2 when your mana orb resets. Yeah, I don't really like this, because our mana orbs resetting quite frequently throughout a fight, and enemies tend to get harder the longer a zone goes on. So, yeah, not not 100%, you know, sold on that. We got Carrion, 15 spell power, 20% chance to gain 1 more spell power whenever you consume a corpse. Well, we're consuming corpses all the time, so this is, well, it's a huge get, I think. Templar gives Martial 3 and gain Martial 1 for each equipped buff spell. We have 1 buff spell. So we're getting Almighty 1 Martial. Let's take Carrion here and get that spell power and corpse consuming. You now only recover 75% of your missing health each fight. This is perfectly fine because we've got so much health regen. Demigods deal 25% more damage. Once again, I think that's fine. 40% reduced armor score. That's going to mean that we generate less armor, but we have a bunch of health regen, so it should balance it out. And then projectile spells have 20% reduced spell power once again. Yeah, I think all in all, they're pretty decent curses, and if we were to re-roll, yeah, I don't think we'd get much better than that, really. Right, what do we want to give spell power here? Maybe on the corpse throw? Could be good. Yeah. Given that more spell power, that's just huge amounts of AoE. Do we care about AoE though? That's the question. Yeah. I think all of our attacks really are AoE. Yeah, so I think it's fine putting Carrion on the corpse throw. And once again, yeah, we're going for XP here. Ooh. Does it matter which of these we take, Harvest or Necrobite? Harvest is more healing. I feel like our healing is fine at the moment, and our damage is lacking a tiny bit. So I think we go for the damaging spell. Yeah, we're going to need a bunch of them to get it to gold. But that can't be helped. And we got a corpse throw here. So we pick that up. And we should, after this fight, be level 7. I think we're going to have to pick up the XP again. The 20 XP. Rather than the rerolls. But once we get to level 7, we're pretty much smooth sailing. Not quite for the rest of the game, but I don't know if we're going to want to... Is it even going to be possible for us to get to 9 Necroweave here? 2, 4, 6, there's 7. There's only 7 Necroweave spells, base cards, and a mastery. So how the hell do you get 9 Necroweaves? I don't even know if it's possible to summon an undead dragon. If anyone knows, do let me know. Because I'm not sure how that works. Yeah. Not fussed about any of these spells. But we did get another Necrobite. So let's go in there and we can put our Umbral Advance in. We have Enigma now. This is an Enigma spell. Where's our second Enigma spell? Harvest is an Enigma spell. So... autocast a random attack spell whenever you generate an energy charge. Okay, I think the positioning is fine for those. I was just trying to work out whether or not the passive took effect, basically, where, like, I don't think it matters where we place this spell. Yeah, I think we've got good positioning at the moment. Ooh, we are getting damaged a lot, though. Holy moly. Okay, and then suddenly we're okay. We need more corpses to consume. I think that's it. Our health is slowly going back up. We are moving and a shaking. Moving around the place. Wow. So many locusts. And so many dashes then. Love it. It is... Oh, we get an item. Okay. Mind Prism mana block your mastery spell and increase its cost by 100%. Spells that share a trait with it gain bonus spell power equal to 50% of its mana cost. That's Harbinger spells. And we have 2 of them. Yeah. One of them being Umbral Advance. Defile and Umbral Advance. Do we care about them getting bonus spell power equal to 50% of their mana cost? So that's 10 spell power on Defile and 20 spell power on Umbral Advance. I don't think it's that much of a bonus. Heavy Crown. Every 5 seconds, gain 40 shield. The 2 closest spells to your mastery spell gain refill 1 and 20 spell power. Gain 3% increased shield effectiveness for each refill spell you have equipped. We have 1, 2 refill spells equipped. So that's 6%. And one of our refill spells is next to the mastery spell. So we only get an extra refill spell. So in total, it'll be 9% increased shield effectiveness. Which, Lich Veil, plus 250 health. Combat start for each spell you have equipped that shares a trait with your mastery spell. Summon a Greater Deflection Spectre. And Deflection Spectres last until end of combat. Grants you 20 Hex Deflection score. Yeah, I don't know if I care about that. What does it do? Whenever you autocast a spell, summon a Deflection Spectre. Realise we're not auto-casting spells, are we? With Harbinger, we are now. We are auto-casting spells. Do we reroll here? I think we reroll. Ravager's Vision. 10 attack damage. The 2 closest attack spells to your mastery spell gain martial 8. Nah. Mind Over Murder. Gain attack damage equal to 50% of your mastery spell's mana cost. Attack spells that share a trait with your mastery spell gain martial 4. And Crush Cage. Whenever you cast your mastery spell, grant it martial 3. If it is not an attack spell, instead grant the 2 closest spells 5 spell power. It is an attack spell. What is the mana cost of this? 30. So we'd get 15 attack damage. And martial 4 on Defile and Umbral Advance. What do we have here that we got something? Nothing is really affecting Martial anymore, is it? Martial 8 gives us 8% spell damage for every 10 attack damage we have. Can we see that? Here we go. Attack damage is 40. Okay, that is actually quite a lot. So 8 times 4 is 32. I think I calculated that right. Oh, it'd be 8 times 5, so it'd be 40% extra spell damage. Okay, that is actually quite a lot. I think we take that then. And then let's go for shop refreshers here. Ooh, what do we pick? We could either try and get more healing or do more damage. don't have either of these, like, in the reserve. Do you know what? Let's go for healing. And I think we gotta get the Necro Bite here. We're getting closer to getting that to gold. There's nothing in the shop there for us. Get a corpse throw. Ooh, there's a locust swarm. Yeah. Give me the locust swarm. Oh, our first... I think that's our first 5-star spell. I could be wrong, that we've seen. God's Smite. We'll just... Ooh, it's Harbinger. What does it do? A giant body part crashes from the sky, dealing 110 damage. This body part is randomly selected, granting a random bonus. Hand, 50% increased damage area. Foot, stun for 3 seconds. Heart, create a magic field that grants you 10 health regen. I mean, that does a lot of damage. How much does that energy charge affect us? This gives us 1 effectiveness whenever we consume a corpse. Yeah. Do you know, I'm actually not entirely sure what effectiveness means. So, does it say? I think effectiveness might only count when you're spending these charges. And we have no way of spending these charges. Either that or... No, there's no way of... Unless it auto-casts an extra random spell per effectiveness. But that just seems ludicrous. If we're consuming corpses and auto-casting 1 extra spell, that's a lot of extra casts. How about, let's get it, and we'll try it for 1 round. It keeps our Harbinger at 3. What does it... We don't have Enigma anymore if we take it out. Okay. Let's just try it. See what happens. See if it actually makes much of a difference. We're getting a lot of shielding. Can you tell? It feels like we're surviving a bit better. It is a 5-star spell. As soon as we find the 5-star Necro Weave spell, we will be getting rid of it. So it is only temporary. But yeah, I don't think that was too bad, you know. Let's get more shop refreshes. Nothing in the shop for us there. And do we keep going for Umbral advances? Yeah, I think we gotta. Nothing in the shop for us there. Or there. That is a corpse throw. Or a harvest. I think we gotta go for the corpse throw. Just because combining them together gives us an extra space in our spell reserve. And let's get another corpse throw, sure. How do we feel like we're doing? I feel like we got the damage. Is Umbral Advance better, though? Because it synergizes with us consuming corpses, which we're doing all the time. Yeah. I think I'm going to try Umbral Advance on the next floor. And we'll see how things go with that. Duplicate any tier 1, 2, or 3 spell one time. Your mana orb generates 1 more mana, or gain 2 Fate Weavers. Fate Weavers are the rerolls, these things. So, what can we duplicate? Umbral Advance we can duplicate. That would make a silver. We'd have 2 silver Umbral Advances, getting it close to gold. Corpse Throw, we could also duplicate, but we'd have to get rid of something there. Yeah, I think it's got to be Umbral Advance, doesn't it? Let's dupe it. And it gives us more space as well. And we have another God Smite. I'm incredibly tempted to pick that up. Let's do it. Ooh. But then we have the Haunting Dash. I think I'm going to put the Umbral Advance in. Oh, this has been buffed. Wait, we want to put the buffed Umbral Advance in because we've got the Chains of Ascension, so everything gets 4 spell power at the beginning of each planning phase. So we're scaling. And do you know what? We say bye-bye to the God Smite. I think we do. Just the one, though. Game, what are you doing to me? We're saying bye to the other God Smite. Now, the question is, do we want more healing or do we want more damage? And I think the answer to the question is always more damage. Oh, there's another Necrobite. Shit. We may have to forego something here. This is all to get a gold Necrobite. Yeah. Tell you what, let's get rid of Harvest. There's a Defile. We don't have any Defiles. Do you know what? I'm just going to skip it. There's another level 5 spell, Dark Reunion. Where's me rank 5 Necroweave spells at? Game, come on. We're in floor 20. Let's see how we do if it was a mistake getting rid of the rank 5 spell. So I'm not sure it was. I think our Enigma may have been better. Ooh. We are taking a lot of damage here. Yeah, I think the auto-casting random spells with our Enigma. They're adding to our deep... It's really hard to tell. We rinsed that guy, though. Oh, and we're back to full. We didn't die, did we? No, I think it must have been our resolve. Yeah, we got an absolute ton of health regen from hitting the resolve when we got to 50% health. Symphony grant all spells with the same tier as the spell 10 spell power. On cast, increase this value by 4. What do we got? We got 3 2s. And spell power does matter for them. Safeguard, 50% chance to generate a Vitality Charge on cast. If this spell costs at least 40 mana instead, this has a 100% chance to generate 2 Vitality Charges. Now, we have a spender in Vitality Charge and Defile there that makes the corpses have 50% increased base area. Does anything else? Use... Corpse Throw does. Throw twice as many corpses that deal 35% less damage. Ooh. Okay. You got me tempted, game. Let's see what the other ones are. Zephyr on cast or autocast gain 15 evasion. After evading 75 attacks, grant all attack spells 30 spell power and 50 mana. Maybe. Haste, 50% chance to generate a Blitz Charge on cast. If this spell costs at least 40 mana, this instead has a 100% chance to generate 2 Blitz Charges. Do we have any Blitz consumers? No, we don't. I think it's got to be Safeguard. Attack damage curse. You have 25% reduced attack speed. I think that's fine. Projectile curse. While you're not at low health, take 30 damage whenever you cast a projectile spell. We have 1, 2, 3. 3 projectile spells. So that's 90 damage a cycle. I think we can handle that. Area spells have 20% reduced spell power. We have 1, 2, 3. 3 area spells. 20% less spell power. I think that's okay. And elites have 25% more health. We can't re-roll it anyway. So, yeah. We kind of stuck with it, but I don't think they were too bad, really. Where do we stick that, though? Do we do it on Defile? This won't be able to use the Vitality Charge because it's on cast. Do we have anything? Auto cast the 2 closest attack spells to the right. Maybe if we put that there and then stick you there. This spell costs at least 40 mana instead. Has a 100% chance. Damn. We may nerf ourselves into the ground with the sharp shooter if we put it onto Blood Bolt. Active launches 3 projectiles. Fire 1 more for every 4 hexes you've deflected. We don't have any other projectile spells other than Corpse Throw. That's going hard at the moment. This just fires an insane amount of projectiles. I think 25... I think the locusts are each counted as a projectile. But I could be wrong. Yeah, I think that's just too good on Locust Swarm. But we don't have anything that costs 40 mana other than Umbral Advance. Let's stick it on Umbral Advance. And the only issue with having that here is it consumes all corpses when we dash. Let's see if that works out okay. I'm a little bit nervous. We can't get to level 8 anymore. We've got 4 stages left, and the maximum we can get is 30 experience per stage. So 30 times 4 is what? 120? 30, 60, 90, 120, yeah. And 120 plus 50 is 170, which doesn't take us to the 200. I don't think we'll get another resonance then, so let's just take shop refreshes. And we got a gold necrobite. Beautiful. Let's keep rolling. Nothing in the shop. We found it. We found the level 5 necro weave spell. Alright. We're about to shake things up a little bit, I think. It has passive, gain 1 mana whenever you consume a corpse. We're constantly consuming corpses. Its active is conjure a bone storm that deals 200 damage, increase its area by 5% when you attack. Enemies that die inside it have 25% chance of resurrecting as a deflection spectre. Ooh, okay. That is nice. Let's take it. And do we get rid of Umbral Advance now? We don't. The only thing that has at least 40 mana would be the Locust Swarm. So I don't know if this gem's going to work, but we're going to stick it in there anyway. We get a 50% chance to generate that on cast. Maybe we stick it in a refill spell. Cast or auto cast, consume the 5 nearest corpses. Let's just stick that there. And this Necrobite has refill 2. So it's going to trigger multiple times, 3 times before moving on to the next. So it refills twice, which means in theory we should have a pretty much guaranteed chance, 50% chance 3 times. I bet that's like a 90%. I can't do the maths right now, but yeah. That's going to generate us one of these, is it Bastion Bulwark? No, what are they called? Vitality charges for us to spend on the corpse throw. So we throw twice as many corpses. And we also have 7 Necroweave now, which means we summon an undead abomination. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that in action. We're becoming abominable. Let's go. These big guys are a bit tough to take down. Ooh. That is the 50% health mark. Necrophage is popping off. Okay, we're surviving. I feel like we're in a little bit more danger than we were before. Wondrous Way, your spells gain 10 spell power for every other spell you have equipped of the same tier. Well, we've got all sorts of different tiers, so no. Ranger's Boots, projectile spells gain 1 spell power per active minion. Every 4 seconds, summon an evasion spectre. Minions gain 1 second of bonus lifetime. I think this could be great for us. Titanic Footprint, plus 200 health, and at combat start, summon a greater armor spectre for each buff spell you have equipped. Armor spectres grant us 15 armor score while active, and we have 1 buff spell, so we get 1 armor spectre. I think I'm going to take the Ranger's Boots here. We are summoning minions, and we just keep going for shop refreshes. We want gold. Nothing but gold, please. Game, come on, what are you doing to me? Haunting Dash, I will take that. Really? All those refreshes, and we got 1 Necroweave spell. Beautiful. We got so many spirits that we're summoning. That's actually kind of crazy. You see all the little glowing purple guys. Where's our damage, though? We need to be creating corpses, I think. That's our issue. We're surviving. Hell yeah. Oakley dokley. Let's keep going. No necroweave. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Oh my god, game. Come on. There's like 7 necroweave spells. You'd have thought at least one would pop up. Can we get a little bit more health regen in here? We're not Harbinger anymore. But we're surviving. We are kind of melting the guys. We're summoning lots of extra dudes as well. Let's get more shop refreshes. And there's a Defile. Pick you up. Okay, we got a Haunting Dash. Up to gold now. Wonderful. That opens up a lot more space for us. And there's a Corpse Throw. Oh, we won off being able to get Corpse Throw to gold. No. Second to last stage. Here it is, lads. We're getting close to the end now. And we beat difficulty 3. With the Necroweave build. I gotta say, it's looking pretty good so far. We are straddling around that half health mark. Our health is regenerating a lot more than it did last time. I think it's because we're taking out enemies a bit quicker. After we got some gold skills. There we go. That was easy. Yeah. 8 health regen, 200 health and 20 evasion, or 10 spell power. I reckon we just go for health and evasion score here. There's no point in skipping because we're on the last stage. Any Necroweave. No. There's Locust Swarm. There's Bone Storm. I just realised. Oh, Swarm, not Storm. I was about to say we got 2 storms. Oh yes. Oh, it's not gonna be a gold Locust Swarm. Oh, but we do get a Silver Bone Storm. Damn, that's doing so much damage. 278 damage. Yeah. Right, final stage. Bring on the Undead Horde. I think as the stage goes on, we just get stronger and stronger because we're summoning more and more guys. And look at that. Absolute madness. There's so many, like, effects going on. So many numbers coming off. I think we're doing tons and tons of small hits here. Our AoEs are absolutely off the charts. Loads of corpses still on the floor. Kinda shocked at that. I thought we'd be consuming them all. Beautiful. Looking safe. We got 50 enemies left. Just let the giant whirlwinds and the locust swarms taking them out. hell yeah. Oh, we're back up to full health. Okay, we went all the way down to half and now we're back up to full. And there we go. That was the Necroweave build, my friends. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, because that was wild. We had a couple of ropey moments, but I think once we got 7 Necroweave and got a couple of gold spells, I think it was pretty clear sailing up until the end there. But yeah, that is going to be it for today's video, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in, and if you liked what you see, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, you know, all the usual jazz. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Ta-ta for now.